Voice Your Place Curtea de Argeș is an audio guide narrated by teenagers about the built heritage of their town. Thank you for visiting our city and listening to our audio guide.
Welcome to the Church of the Curtea de Argeș Monastery. The Church of the Curtea de Argeș Monastery is one of the most beautiful churches in Wallachia, the subject of legends and source of inspiration for all Romanian churches back then and now. The well-known Syrian cleric and chronicler, Paul Alep, who traveled through Wallachia in 1654, described the Curtea de Argeș Monastery as one of the wonders of the world. The church is the only remaining construction of the former monastery. Set in the middle of a square courtyard, the church was once surrounded by a dormitory, a bell tower, a bishop's residence, chancelleries, and a kitchen. All these buildings were demolished with the controversial restoration of the church by Le Comte de Nuit in 1886, a topic we'll come back to in a few minutes.
The church was the foundation of Neagoe Basarab, inaugurated in 1517. On this site there used to be an older church, dating from the 13th century and belonging to the former metropolitanate of the Romanian country. As that church was in an advanced state of deterioration, Neagoe Basarab decided to demolish it and erect in its place an extraordinary church of astonishing richness, such as no one had ever built before. Some accounts say that Neagoe Basarab spent part of his life in Istanbul. Medieval Greek sources and popular tradition tell us that the Sultan, probably Bayezid II, commissioned Neagoe to build a mosque, assisted by the architect Manoli of Niță. Manoli can be none other than the master builder Manole from the Romanian legend, with whom Neagoe Basarab would have returned to Wallachia to build the church you see today. The craftsmanship of the work and the novelty of its look led to the emergence of the myth about the master builder Manole.
Ye 9 great craftsmen, masons, journeymen, what a dream I dreamed! In my sleep meseemed a whisper from high, a voice from the sky, told me verily that whatever we in daytime have wrought shall nights come to naught, crumble down like rot, till we, one and all, make an oath to wall, whose bonny wife erst, whose dear sister first, haps to come this way at the break of day.
To remind travelers of this legend, the Fountain of Manole was built near the church at the beginning of the 19th century. We invite you to see it.
Although an Orthodox church, the decoration of the building has many Ottoman influences. For example, the door frames made of two-color stones, the ornamentation of the towers, and even the holy water basin in front of the church, used in the Orthodox ritual on Epiphany Day, but inspired by mosque fountains. The church was built from limestone quarried in Albești, the walls were made of brick, and the marble and mosaic were brought from the Ottoman Empire for ornamental works by ship on the Danube to the port of Vidin. The church's outer wall is divided into two areas by a belt carved in stone after the model of the Dealu church in Târgoviște. The top part of the wall is decorated with stone panels, square or circular, carved in a typically Armenian style. Above them you can see a series of stone doves. Written testimonies claim that the doves were empty on the inside, so that when the wind blew, the birds whistled, and the bells under their wings rang in sweet harmony. Armenian stonemasons were numerous in the area at the time, having fled to the western coast of the Black Sea after the Ottoman conquest of Armenia. They contributed substantially to the architecture of churches in Serbia and Wallachia.
The church has a plan that was unheard of at the time of its construction. The narthex, the first space as you enter the church, is wider than the nave, and it has 12 columns in the center supporting a second tower. Even more, there are 2 smaller towers near the entrance. Tombs of rulers and their wives line the walls of the narthex. Starting with the 19th century, Romania's royal family chose this site as their necropolis. This is where Carol I and Elisabeta, Ferdinand and Maria, Carol II and Elena are buried. The interior painting and floor are not authentic. They were made at the end of the 19th century during the restoration of Le Conduit. Fragments of the original painting made in the Byzantine style have been saved and restored and are now displayed at the National Museum of Art of Romania. Invited to Romania by King Carol I, the architect Le Conduit was a disciple of Viollet-le-Duc, the father of restoration in France. In its beginning, restoration itself was seen more like an act of embellishing a building rather than preserving its original form. Le Conduit demolished the other buildings of the monastery and built the episcopal palace. He removed the interior painting of the church and added and modified decorative elements. Romanian architects of the era criticized the French architect's project, and the controversy led to the establishment of the Commission of Historical Monuments, which aimed to supervise the intervention on valuable buildings and which still functions today.
This text was narrated by
Odette Andrei,
Georgiana Stan.
Eliza Varvara Petec.
and by
Cristian Sechea.
He likes the construction. It's beautiful, impressive. For a while, he sits on one of the more secluded benches and looks at the church without any thoughts. Suddenly, something catches his eye.
I cross the street and see the wall of the monastery. The path stretches out before me, shaded by fir trees. I might have needed the quiet, but the cobbled road repeats its jerky song with every step I take.
You've been listening to short extracts from our stories written during the creative writing workshop. The buildings that you have visited have a special meaning for us. The stories speak of us and our connection to these places. If you're curious about them, we invite you to read them in full on our website. The audio guide in English was recorded by teenagers during the Voice Your Place Curtea de Argeș 2024 workshops.